helping you with real estate, Mr. Mike Johnston.
First off, Zoom, which is a cool program, there's so many different conferencing programs and things that are out there, solutions. Zoom now is the #2 most utilized one for the highest rankings for success and other things. Cisco, I believe, is the first one, then it's Zoom, and then there's another one after Zoom. But I really like it. So today we're going to go through Zoom and set up an account for you. So if you've already done some of this, when we go through it, I'm going to show you how to set up different fields and features that you may want to have. Okay? So if you go to zoom.us, that's the screen I'm showing you, you're able to see what exactly it is that we have here. And you can either click on join a meeting. Let me turn on my super-de-duper little thing that shows this. Well, it's not loading, but anyway, my highlighter. You can either click join a meeting right here, and when you click join a meeting, that right there will automatically load the program and other things for you, so that's easier for other people. But today I'm going to skip that and I'm going to go to the sign up. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit different. But normally when you send somebody here, you can tell them to just click join a meeting and give them some certain information that's there. For verification, now you guys all know my birthday. You can send me presents.
You are the day before me.
Yay! Okay, so I'm going to set up an account here. And I'm going to click sign up. Okay, they've sent an email to me so I can confirm that I have that particular account. So we're going to do that really quick. I'm just going to click over here. The reason I'm doing this is so you can see every bit of how to create an account, how long it takes to do it. It's not super hard to do. So once it loads up into Gmail, you're able to see that, and it says account sign up assistant. So just click on that. Okay, there it is. You recently signed up page using an email which has already been registered and activated. So click sign in. Wait for it. Okay. I'm clicking in the other spot because it's trying to have me do something for verification. I don't want it to use this particular account. That's kind of strange. Last time I signed up, it didn't make me do this. I just clicked on the sign up. It's free. Then it went in here. It didn't do it. Well, I'm not going to go this route. We're going to just go in and log in with a different one so we can show you how to do it. So let's log in here. We're going to use info at Professional Real Estate School and log into that. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit different. The last time when I went in and set this particular one up, it walked us through some different sign-up screens, etc. So we're just going to go through one at a time in here and take a look at it. On the left-hand side, you've got your profile. Now here, there's certain things that you want to set up. You've got your phone number and other things that it has there that you can enter in. So just click the edit button here. I put down your information. This one I just have it be the school proctor for Professional Real Estate School. And the school's phone number, I can put other information here and location, then I click Save Changes. There's a personal meeting ID, and that's the default. It'll give you one, but if you pay for the paid version, it will go ahead and let you choose one. So right here you can see the type we have is the basic. Okay. Capacity, it shows we can have up to 100 people in our meeting. The date format and other stuff, modify that. You can have a sign-in password and a host key if you want those, and edit those. If not, you can just leave those blank. So that would be the main part that you put down for the profile. The next tab is meetings. Now, when you come in here for the meetings, you can have your personal meeting room, and that's most likely what you're going to be doing, is because you'll have a meeting ID number and you'll have other people come and join you. Kind of like how you did today. You typed in my phone number and you came in and joined. So we want to make sure that we have the information set up correctly on our personal meeting rooms, because you can have a template for different things or each time you host a meeting, etc. Here it shows a meeting ID and a password, and then a URL to have people join it. So I can copy that invitation here and send it to somebody to join, or I can just give them the meeting ID number and they can join us like you've done today. Video. This next section, you can modify different little things here if you're going to modify your meeting. So then you've got webinars, recordings, settings. So let's come down here under recordings. If you wanted to record your meetings, you can set it up to do so and record each one of your meetings. And you can record it locally on your hard drive, or you can go ahead, oh, it says you're only recorded while supporting the version of the client. So in the My Pro meeting, it's able to record that rather easily. Okay, settings for the meetings. These are the different things we're going to go through. Schedule meeting, host video. Start the meeting with the host video on. You can either turn that on or off. So when you start it up, if you want them to see your face and what's going on, you can click that. If you want it turned off, have it turned off. That way you have to eventually turn your video on later. Participant video. Do you want theirs turned on or off when you start? Sometimes people don't know how to do that, so I always like to have it turned on and make it a little easier for them. Audio type. I click on the computer audio, then click save. I don't like people to just dial into my meetings. I'd rather them connect with the Zoom app. And by so doing, they can connect to the computer audio that I have here. Join before host. If you have a recurring meeting and people want to show up before you're there, they can sit and wait. I don't like to do that. I want to make sure that I'm there first, so I don't let people join before the host. Using your personal ID when scheduling a meeting, typically that you would want to have that happen. Use personal meeting ID when starting an instant meeting. It's okay to click on that one as well. I'm going to skip through some of these things for requiring passwords, embedded password in the links, mute participants upon entry. I'm going to leave mine so that when people come in, they can start talking. Chat, you can turn that on. File transfer, just going down here. Screen sharing, who can share the screen. Whiteboard, you can turn that on. You can have breakout rooms and other things if you want to. Virtual background, if you don't want people to come in with the virtual background, you can turn this off. And that's pretty much the main stuff there to worry about. Okay, so we have our basics set up for our meeting. And that would be fine for that part. All right. Now, some of the things, now that we have our ID and our meeting information, I'm going to go ahead and close that screen. And I'm going to share with you. There's a basic little thing when you log in. And it shows you, I'm trying to do the screen share. And that's strange. It won't let me share with you the screen that when you log in for Zoom. So you're going to just have to remember that Zoom meeting screen. So when you first have that screen, there's a little icon or a little cog that you can click on, which shows settings. I'm going to see if it'll let me share the settings screen now. No, it doesn't let me share that. That is so strange. I wonder if it's going to let me share if I put it up on a different screen and share the monitor. Let's try that. No. Okay, it won't let me share the screen for Zoom, which is really strange because I thought it used to let me do that. So on the particular screen for Zoom, it has the return to meeting, join a meeting, schedule, that type of stuff. When you contact somebody, all you have to do is give them your meeting ID. And with your meeting ID, they click in and can join you. But before you even do that, there's a few things that we really need to make sure that we've got set up. First off, have a camera. Looks like most of us have cameras, so that's a good thing. Now the camera that you choose, sometimes your tablets or laptops or your phones have one and it looks okay. But you want to also position where you have that camera and have it be typically at the height where you are. Mine's slightly lower than what it would normally be. I'm at a different location today compared to all the other classes that we've taught. So you want to make sure that you have that at a high enough location. If it's too low, and it's coming up like that, it doesn't really do good. So you want it to be a taller or higher spot. Put that back. Another thing to keep in mind, let me just grab my list right here. The other thing you want to keep in mind is the height of the camera. You want to verify that your sound is working okay, so have a microphone. Sometimes people have a camera but no microphone and you're not able to communicate that way. Lighting. See, my face is a little dark because I don't have my lights on. Sometimes with your computer screen and you're close enough to it, it shines some light onto you, so that helps to lighten it up. You want to make sure that it's a little bit brighter for you. You might have a lamp or some other thing in the room that could help put some more light onto you. Your background. Right now I'm showing you a little fake background. I'm going to zoom up here and grab and change this other bit for us. Okay. So if I change my virtual background, I'm going to change something really quick and just show you what I really have for my background. That's what I've got right now. I'm downstairs in the Keller Williams office in the training room, the classroom, where we have things. So if you can see this, that's the back wall. And you can look around. So it's not the most appealing place right now for a background. But if I wanted to, I could leave that and it works out. But you might want to take a look. See how I have that light right above us? That's not the best thing to have there, because if I have a light shining into the screen, it darkens my face. So I need to position myself a little bit better in this room. This is the first time I've been in this room doing this, so sorry. But you want to get to the point where you have a little bit more light in front of you. You don't want to position yourself to a window behind you, because that brings in all this light and it doesn't work well. So Steve's modifying his room a little bit, trying to change stuff, so that's good. So you can modify and try to improve it. Okay, so that's really good for the lighting and your background. And see on mine has my name of who I am. It looks like all of you guys have done that, so you already have that part figured out, so that's great to put your name down onto it. So when you log in, you enter that information about you. Now there's a way that you can check your setup and you can see how your picture is. So all of you, if you can, since it won't let me do a screen share with that, go ahead and see if you can do like an Alt Tab and pull up your Zoom screen, your Zoom meeting screen. It's that one that has the return. Right now it'll say return to meeting, join, schedule, or share screen. If you have that in front of you, go ahead and click that little cog that's below your picture or your name that says settings. So go ahead and grab that if you can. And on that particular one, we're going to have to walk through it since it won't let me show you. The top tab says General. Okay, so is everybody there with the General tab, I'm hoping? And I apologize again, this is the last time I'm going to say that, but it won't let me share that particular screen. At my house, I could share whatever screen I showed, but it doesn't let me share this open pane. All right, so under General, you can, the top tab says Start Zoom when I start Windows. You can do that. That's what I normally do. That way it's loaded and ready to go. Then it also shows Use Dual Monitors. If you click on that, it's going to, if you have two monitors, it's going to automatically use both of them. I have mine turned off just because some people don't have two monitors, even though I do, and that way I can kind of relate to what they're doing. And that's pretty much all in the general tab. Click the second one down, video. This is the one that I think is important for you. When you click on the video tab, it shows your camera right there. Everybody see your camera?
Yes.
Good. Now, Paula, I want you to do something cool. So are you able to see
Okay.
the video tab on there? And do you see your picture?
Yeah, I do.
In the upper right-hand corner, it says rotate 90 degrees. Go ahead and click that twice.
Uh-huh.
Wow! See, Paula's upside down. The reason we have this here is you might have a tablet, and your tablet might be rotated sideways, or up,
Oh, yeah.
and you need to modify the direction that the camera is sending the information out to. So that's why we need that special feature there. The other thing, underneath there, shows my video, enable HD. I always turn that one on to have the better resolution. See the one that says mirror my video? Watch what happens when I click that. Okay, I'm gonna hold this piece of paper on one side and I click mirror my video. See how it switches it? So right now you can't read what's on those papers because it's mirrored backwards. If I click it again, you can see it. So depending what you want, you can switch your video. Okay? The next one below it says touch up my appearance. This is kind of like putting on some foundation or some other beautiful makeup stuff on you. What it really is doing is it's kind of blurring the pixels, so it's not as precise on you. So if you want to, you can click touch up my appearance. I normally don't do that because I think I look fabulous anyway. Plus, when I share stuff on the screen, I want it to share it to be a little bit more exact versus being slightly smudgy or blurry. Okay, then under meetings, it says always display participant names in their windows. I have that one turned on. Then spotlight my video when I speak. I have that turned on, so whenever I talk, it shares that with other people. Okay? Now the very top there, it shows camera. If you click on that and you have more than one camera, it'll select the other one. So like on mine, I have a what's this called? The Surface Pro. So I'm gonna select the rear camera. So when I click on that, it's showing a different camera to you. So depending what you have, you can modify your camera for more than one if you have it there. This is the front camera. That's the rear camera. So you can change which one it is that you're going to be sharing with the people. So that's your video. So always come here, take a look at it to make sure that your background looks fine, everything looks okay, and that you have the right camera selected. Now on the left-hand side, so we did general, video. Now you should have the audio. So click on audio. On this audio one, when you click on it, it says test speaker. If you go ahead and click that test speaker, it's going to play a sound out the speakers that you have, and you can modify your volume and etc. So go ahead and click that test speaker. You'll need to press it again to stop it when you do it. So here's what mine sounds like. You can hear a little sound going. When I'm done, I click the stop and it turns that off. If you have more than one set of speakers, right to the right, you can click on it and you can choose what you want. You might have a headset because you might want the sound to go out into a headset, so you have headphones. You might want it to go to the plugged in speakers that you have or something else. So here's where you can modify. Looks like Steve's modifying his stuff right here. Way to go, buddy. Because that way, if you're in a room, you don't want everybody else to hear it, you can select that. So that's a good thing. And you can test your speaker and your volume level, etc. Now under microphones, same thing. You can test your mic. Now when you click test mic, you need to talk and it will go for a few seconds recording, then it will play it back to you. Look at that input level. You want it to go about 3/4 of the way through up. If not, you're going to need to adjust the volume. Sometimes you can also click that automatically adjust volume part and it will modify it for you and help you out. So go ahead and click the test mic, and I'm doing it right now and it's recording. This is a test. This is a test. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that way, when it plays it back, I can know for sure that it's working. If for some reason it's not, maybe the microphone's not correct. So you can click on that to the right, like your speakers, and choose the right microphone. I sometimes will plug in a microphone because it's closer to where I am compared to the one that's on the computer. The other day, we had a class that was going on, and the fan kicked in, and you could hear a little bit of a hum in the background. It was because of the location of the microphone to that. So you want to check and make sure things are going fine. Down on the right, it says automatically join audio by computer when joining a meeting. I have that one selected, and then press and hold the space key to temporarily unmute yourself. So those are the things I have selected on audio. So right now, if that's selected and you're here in this group, you can hit your space bar, and when you hit your space bar, it's going to unmute you, and you can see your microphone on the bottom left of your screen. It will, instead of being red with a line through it, it will undo it, and you can see that you can talk and ask a question. Yep, so Steve, I see that, doing that. Allie, I see that, okay. Michelle, good, everybody. So that way you can communicate more effectively in a meeting without having to grab your mouse and click over there and try to find that and click the mute button. So your space bar, always check that. Next thing down, share screen. You could just leave those default. Chat, you could leave that default. Here's an interesting one, virtual background. So go ahead and click on virtual background. Now on virtual background, it's going to show you your camera again. So if you need to rotate it, you can. And then it has choose virtual background. And right now it says none, and there's a plus sign to the right. If you don't have anything downloaded or any pictures there, if you click on the plus button, you can download an image. You can either download a little video clip, or you can download a JPEG file, an image. And go ahead and select something and find it. And once you've done so, you click on that icon and you can change your background. Yeah, spacey stuff. We got some people going there. Whoa, that looks cool, Steve. But that way you can see how it works. Paula. Okay, ooh, okay, Allie, see how yours is doing that? There's an option. If you can check on the bottom of it, it says I have a green screen.
Uh-huh.
If you click on that and you had a solid color behind you, it would work a little bit better. It's having a hard time determining what's you and what's the background.
It says that my computer doesn't meet the requirements
Right.
to use.
So go ahead and turn off your virtual background to be none. What you can do is you can hang up a white sheet behind you or something else that's a solid color. And that way it can determine that behind you it's one color and it can do things better for you. So if you want to have a virtual background, that's one thing that you're going to need to do. Or change the direction of your camera, because right now there's a lot of different things behind you and it doesn't know that that backpack or that couch or such and shouldn't be there.
Junk.
Okay?
Okay.
That's for the virtual background. But see how this one right here that I've got going, how it's a little video clip? See, you can modify different things. Here's one right here. I've got these people sitting here behind me, and it makes it look like I'm in a group with other people or something. You know, so you can modify it. Or this one right here, and watch this person walk into the room here shortly. So somebody walks in and sits down. I can change it to be the street that's going on here. You know, I've got these cars and stuff in the background that are driving around. So it's interesting. But keep in mind that no matter what you choose for your background, it can be distracting for people. It can be fun. Like Steve, you've got your background there for the Murdoch man wearing. So that's cool. You know, and I think that's okay. But you just have to be cautious on what it is that you choose. Like here, I've got breaking news, so I've got that. I've got this Star Wars type thing. I've got my backyard with trees. I've got, you know, and you can choose whatever it is that you want. You can do something funny. Just speed up a bit. You got this, you know. So you just choose what it is that you want, but just be cautious that it doesn't offend somebody else, that you've got whatever it is that you've got. Okay? So that's that bit. That's my underground storage bunker that my grandma's storing all this toilet paper for. So you got that. So that's the virtual background part. Okay. The next one is recording. You can have it record and you can set a location where to record, and you can have it automatically record when you start it up, etc. The next button is profile. And on there, it shows the name that's going to show up. And you can, if you click edit my profile, it should take you to the website where it logs you in, and you can modify that information there. Statistics, feedback, keyboard shortcuts, and accessibility. I'm just going to leave those alone. So that's some of the settings that are there. Okay, so that's some of the basic things with Zoom. So I've shown you how to check your setups, how to share your screen. Okay, sharing your screen. At the very bottom of your screen, see where it says there's a little bar that has different things on it. It says mute, stop, video, security, that type of stuff. There's a button called shared screen. If I click on my shared screen, it brings up a window and it says, what do you want to share? I'm going to click on whiteboard. So if I click on the whiteboard, it brings up this and I can write on it. Okay? Now I can share this with somebody else. So somebody else could try to grab the screen and then they could write on here as well. So that can happen. I can erase what's going on, highlight stuff, etc. Or I can stop sharing my screen and somebody else could click on share your screen and then it would be shared with the other participants. That way, let's say Paula has something that she wants to show us. She could click on share screen and as long as I have it permitted to let her, like right now, she's pulling something up and she's gonna be able to do stuff. Okay, so this way you can have people share things with you. That's pretty good, hello. So that way people can do it. Now, whoever starts the meeting has control. So if I didn't want people to do that, I set it up that nobody can share their screen. But if they want to, I can authorize that so they can. Matt, I really like that. That is a good picture. I like that one. Okay. So you can choose the different little things to share. Another thing, chat. See the chat button? If you click that chat button, it brings something off to the right, at least it does on my screen. And there's a little thing at the very bottom. It says to everyone, or if you click on that, it will show you who you can send it to. I have it set up that you can send messages back and forth to each other. So if this is a class or something and I wanted to send a message just to Matt, I could highlight Matt and I could send a message to him and it's private between those two people. Or I could say everyone, which is the default in the meeting. And I can say, hi there, and I just send that off. So you can see how you can communicate with this. So if somebody for some reason logs on to your Zoom and gets into a meeting and they can't communicate with you, they might be able to, if you say something, go down to the chat and you see me and you can communicate a little bit that way. Now when you record a meeting, you can also record the screen sharing, you can record the texts that are sent, etc. So everything could be held on to for meetings. Right now, the Idaho Real Estate Commission has authorized it, they did this just a couple of days ago, that we can use Zoom for real estate classes, as long as the instructor is certified, a certified instructor with the Real Estate Commission, and also holds the CDEI designation, Certified Distance Educator, something or other, instructor, distance, something like that. And I am 2 modules away from getting that, so we can start to be able to do those type of things. Chris Folkrod is working on getting that as well, so she can teach the new agent classes. So we have that. So it's going to be good that we have these different little things. But Zoom is a great platform, and you can communicate and do a lot of different little things with it. So come in here, play around with it, make sure it's working well for you. Check your lighting, make sure that things are fine. Sometimes I'm closer to the screen, so it's just pretty much my face. The reason sometimes I do that is because if I'm sharing my screen, it shows me rather small in the corner of it. So when people see that. So that way they can still see the instructor or whoever's providing information. A lot of times, yeah, Paul, I can see you. A lot of times you'll just modify and take a look around to see what's best for you. Now, screen views. On your screen right now, if you look at it in the upper right-hand corner, there's a button that says speaker view, or I think it says presenter view or something. You can press that different button, or gallery view. So press that button a couple times and it will change what you see. Okay? So you can modify that. If you want to enter full screen, you can do that, or exit full screen. So play around with those different changes and you can see what's going on. Now, when it's under speaker view, whoever's talking, it will highlight them. Because right now I'm talking, so if it's set up that way, it shows you. So Matt, go ahead and say something to us and let's see if it highlights him as he talks. You have to unmute yourself with the space bar.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, the space bar wasn't working. I don't know why.
So hopefully everybody, when he talked, it opened up the screen and it showed him. So if you have it on the speaker view. Now, there's another thing you can do. If you're on the group view or the grid view, go ahead and click on participants in the bottom. If you click on that, it should open up a little window to the right of you and it shows all the people that are on the group. Now, when you do that, look underneath it. It shows a yes button, a no, go slower, go faster, more, and clear all. If I wanted to ask a question to all of you, and I have this showing up here, how many of you think that my background, how many of you like my background? Then you can press the yes button instead of doing your thumbs up, which is what we normally do, Connie. Yeah, go ahead and you can choose that. And on there, it shows what the different people have. Do you see that? Do you guys see it too? No? So I guess only I get to see it? So if you do you have a yes and no there on yours though? On the participant view? Steve, you do? Okay, so if you press it, you guys don't get to see it because it shows Matt, Paula, Rochelle, and me all have yes right now. So you can see it? Good.
I can see it, yeah.
Okay, Connie, you can't? So are you on?
I cannot.
No? Okay, so it depends on your screen view that you're on. Instead of the little window that opens up, if you're on the grid view, and then you click on Manage Participants or Participants, it should open up a window as part of your screen to the right. And then below that, it should show a little window as part of your screen that's the Groom chat there. And if you click the chat button at the bottom again, it'll take it off. Because right now I can see all of us there and it shows whose microphones are off, whose video cameras are on or off. And it shows Paula has her hand raising a question. And then it shows certain people that have the yeses. So I'm going to click my yes button again because it'll turn my hand off. Now, if you click on the more, it has the hands, the thumbs up, down, clap, I need a break type thing, you know, and also that you're away. So that just has some of that information there. So if you ever do that, make sure you turn it back off. But if you do the question part, it typically will show on the screen so the person can see that you're raising your hand for a question. The yes and no, you have to look at it over here. But if you put your thumbs up or something, it typically will show up on your screen as well. Okay, great. So that helps out with some of the screen icons and modifying it. Now, if you wanted to record this session when you set it up, you can click on to record. Now, the different areas where you can go is if you click on the more button, which is on the bottom right, those three dots says more, you can click to record or stop recording. Now, as a participant, you don't always get that, but as the host, you have that option. So right now, you might not have that option that shows up there for you. But I think it's good. That's what I do is I record these sessions, then I trim them up a little bit, take certain things off and add some things to it. And that way it can be replayed for somebody else. Okay, so let's have a little bit of interaction here. Everybody go ahead and turn off your mics so we have it so that it's able to do something. And we can just have somebody ask a question, say something, just so you can see how the screens change amongst who's speaking and not. So somebody say something so we can change the screens.
Okay, so this has been a great class, Mike. Thanks, I appreciate it. I have to use this for a writing group and I have a paid account for myself.
Okay,
And I
good.
didn't know anything about it.
Good. So if you have a paid account, you have a few more options on there. You can record your meetings if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have used this to do a buyer's consult with some people, and I think I just set it from my calendar,
Okay.
and I think it just used our team's Zoom account.
Could have.
But I don't know for sure.
You set it to schedule a meeting, depending what computer you're on and what was logged in at that point in time, it'll send it out from that. But if you set up your own account, and then you can set it from there and join. See, right now,
Okay.
everything that we're doing is on the computer. But go ahead and download your app. There's an app for iPhone, and there's also one that has for Android. So Zoom. If you download the Zoom meeting app, you can log in with it as well. So if you're driving down the road and wanted to join into a meeting, you can do so. But you'll set up your settings primarily on that account like we started with the class. So you can get everything set up there. And then when you log into the same one, it will do that for you. And the neat thing about that is we could have a Zoom meeting, Steve, and you're out showing a house and somebody wants to participate and take a look at the property. Using your phone, you're doing your Zoom meeting and you can click on there instead of the view coming towards you, click on the other one, which is typically a better camera, and then you can watch in there of what they're seeing.
Nice.
So I really like that. Go ahead and try it. Go out and do stuff. If any of you want to try to see how it broadcasts somewhere else, give me a call on the phone and just say, hey, Mike, can we use your Zoom meeting thing? And then I'll just start it up and you can type in my phone number, 208-234-4357, and we can try it out. Or if you have somebody else, you can try it between each other, somebody back at the office. Or you and your spouse or significant other or friend or whoever, you can set up a different meeting. But anytime you set up a meeting, you want to double check how it goes. See how you guys log in on mine right now? You don't have to have a password. The default requires a password. So every time I come in here and then I go down to my security tab across the bottom. Do you guys have a security tab on yours? Steve? No? Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, so mine says mute, stop video, a little break, and it says security, manage participants, polls, chats, share screen, reactions, and more. Then end meeting.
Yeah.
So if you have the meeting and you set it up, you can click on security. And when I click on my security tab, there's a thing called lock meeting and enable waiting room. If it says enable waiting room, that means people are waiting to join your group and you have to select and authorize them to come in. I don't like that on a big group like this, or if we're going to have 20 people for a team meeting. So I turn off the enable waiting room. So I log in, start up, do that. And later on, on there it says allow participants to do what? Share screen, chat, or rename themselves. So I can do that. And there's also a remove participant. So if Steve was being really rambunctious and causing a lot of problems, I just click on here, remove participant, select him, and my default settings doesn't let him come back in. So the rest of this meeting, he can't try to come back in. So if I had enable waiting room, people wait out there. If not, they jump in. The other thing is lock meeting. Once I have all the participants that I'm planning on having in the meeting, and I don't want somebody just to jump in if I forget to enable waiting room, there's a button there that I can click that says lock meeting, and it secures the meeting so nobody else can come in. Okay? So that's that bit right there. Now, there is a feature called polls. So across the bottom of the screen, I have a thing called polls. So I'll click on it, and I click launch polling. So right now, all of you should have a little poll in front of you. And you go ahead and choose something like that and answer your questions. So if everybody could choose something. So this is good for an instructor. They can go through and ask a question, do different little things, and they can say you have so much time, or I'm going to close it up, etc. And then I can click end polling. So I click end. Now I know the answers. I can click share results, and I click that, and it shows all of you what the different choices were. It shows 2 people chose violet, and 1 of each for the others except for orange. If I would have voted, I would have selected orange. So then we would have had 1 of everything. Okay? Then I can click stop sharing results and it goes away. So that's something you could do for interaction with the people as well if you wanted to ask a question to somebody if it's a larger group. Okay? What other questions might somebody have? That's the basics to Zoom. It really depends, and make sure you get things set up right. Work on getting a background behind you. Matt, yours is perfect because the color of the background and your shirt, it's just perfect because it's different enough that it makes it very clear. So that's a good choice that you have. Okay.
Mike, I wondered, have you ever uploaded a document to like the whiteboard so that people could circle statistics or contribute, collaborate on a document?
What you can do is there is a shared document that you can pull up. So let's just go ahead, because I can share a screen. Let me just do one really quick and I'll show you. I'm going to minimize a few things really quick. Oops, I cannot minimize while this meeting is in progress. So I won't do that. Let's just click on, open up this file. Okay, you might hit pause. Somebody's screen. I'm going to look at. I'm trying to find something that's not confidential. Okay, I'm going to click on share screen. Paul, I think that might be back sound coming from you or something. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so here is this. I'm going to click share screen. So you should all be able to see it. Now on here, there's different little things that I can do when I'm sharing my screen. Let's see if it'll let me modify this a little bit. And I can come in here and see how I'm typing on it? Okay. Paula, see if you can see if you want, if it'll let you control the screen, because I thought that it would. If you go in there and try to grab it, I think it's under the remote control. Give mouse keyboard control. Oh, here it goes. I'm going to give the control to you, Paula. So now you have control. So I gave control to you. Can you do something on that screen? Yes. So do you see that, everybody? So across my screen on that little bar that says mute, stop video, security and stuff, there's one called remote control, and I can pass it to somebody else. So I'm going to come on here and click on that, and I have auto accept all requests, so anybody could grab it if I do that. So I'm going to click auto accept all requests. So if somebody else wants to try to grab it, let's see if they can grab it and modify it. Nobody's grabbing it. Paul is controlling it. Matt, it says, is controlling the screen. So Matt's got it right now, and he's wrote something down. Okay, so this is something where we could all do things together. So thanks for reminding me about that, Paula. And then I have the control, so I can stop that. I'm just going to go ahead and click stop share, so it gets rid of that screen for us. Okay, Connie, I like your background. Wow. Allie, I'm sorry, that's just not working for you. Just not working. You're like a ghost. Okay. If there aren't any other questions, we'll go ahead and end this meeting, and hopefully you learned a couple of little things that Zoom will help you to do better. There are other things that we can do more in depth, like having additional cameras, that you can have a different camera that shows down on the board next to you that you can write down paper and show that, or share different documents. You can have picture in picture, but that's not using Zoom, that's using some other hardware that would work into it as well. Okay, so have a great day, everybody. Enjoy yours.
I did have one question. If you disable the waiting room, does that take away, because the problem I've been having, I do one-on-one meetings, and the problem I'm having is they're waiting for me to give permission to enter.
Yes, I typically have more than one meeting, and I'll have people that are waiting in the waiting room until I finish the meeting that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So I can either invite them in one at a time if it's somebody that dropped out of the meeting and they're not supposed to be in the next one, but I need to bring them back in. When I go into the waiting room, I can manage participants. I see who's there, and I can pull in who I'd like.
Okay. Yeah, and I just do one-on-one, and I invite them, like it's one-on-one times. I don't have a lot of back-to-back. So, but it's when that one is coming that I invited.
Yep. You can just enable the waiting room. That way they stay there and they don't jump in yet.
Okay.